Hey, Tim Sykes here. Nasty overall market. Dow is down nearly 700 as I'm filming this, but this was my big winner today. AITX up over 200%. I bought and alerted it in the threes, sold it in the fours, and it goes all the way to the nines. This is just kind of how my day has gone. It's not too bad, don't cry for me. I've made nearly 10 grand on the day in just a few trades. AITX was my best. But really underestimating this one, just like DLOC the other day. I bought this and alerted it in the ones and sold it in the threes. It hit 20 cents or 19 cents that day, came back down, next day up to 30 cents. I just want you to see the opportunity here. So like when you see like, oh, look, he's making nearly 10 grand. He's such a great trader. No, I'm not. I'm capitalizing on the opportunity. But I'm actually pretty pissed that I'm screwing up left and right. And I know it doesn't look like that. You're like, shut up. I mean, this is what I make in a month, or I get it. I know it looks good, but there is so much opportunity. Too many people are not taking full advantage. Some people are. Congrats to a lot of you guys who nailed AITX. I haven't even had time to really check the chat room, but here are just a few students. This was SEPT Alex, got in at 5, out in the 7s, 30% game. DiMattia made 300 but traded poorly today. And here is Santiago in the 6s, out in the 9s, stuck to his plan, and he watched Jack Garou's webinar. It's not just about the money that you make in this niche. You want to create a plan and stick to it. And again, this page should be full. I just haven't had time. I'm giving a challenge webinar in a little bit, so I just wanted to review before the webinar began. I mean, also, if you follow me on Twitter, Mono Trader, he sold OZSC for 5 grand. Lorenzo made 500 on IPIX. Al Wazan made 2 grand on IPIX, and Giggity sold on OSCZ, making like 50% overnight. Also, call sign Megatron, JAKK was a morning pumper, made like 15%. K Kureshi made like 20%. Clayroff actually shorted JAKK since it was a pump, and you can go long or short. Johnny K sold AITX, very similar to my trade, in the 3s, out in the 4s. Ato was in the 4s, out in the 5s. Mink made money on plug and APT. But aside from DLOC, AITX, which is now actually tanking finally, it got a little overextended. But there's also OZSC, which was a big runner this morning. And this was the first, big green day or second green day, depending on how you look at charts. Yesterday, into the close, I had a choice. I could have bought it, but frankly, I've just been overwhelmed, with too many plays, so I missed OZSC. But I think it's important to note that there are so many freaking plays spiking, whether it's OZSC or here's JAKK this morning on the pump. Please use the Stocks to Trade breaking news tool, okay? Like they're alerting all of this stuff. So many people are messaging me like, why is this going up? Use the breaking news tool. It will help you. And also, I have some tweets I want to show you here. A few more students. CJ made 939 on AITX. Shruti sold OZSC too soon, made 20%. Lionel made 50% on DLOC and saying like, I sold too soon. When you make 50%, don't worry about it. SINT is another big spiker, even in this ugly market. And don't worry if you have a small position size. We all start somewhere. Big Ryan made 700 bucks on AITX. Ali made 186 on SINT. Donald made a little money on SINT. Evan made 550 on SINT. But here are the tweets that I wanted to get to because, there's a lot of like real traders and fake traders right now. And I want you to know the difference because, I said this, veteran trader, when a stock breaks below a key level, exit the position safely. Versus what pumpers would say, the drop is due to weak hands, short sellers, keep holding or you're my enemy. This is a long-term hold, not a day trade. Veterans say cut losses quickly. Pumpers say it's not a loss until you sell. Don't be a pumper. Don't follow pumper rules. Yes, that's technically correct. It's not a loss until you sell. But when you're in any of these stocks, you have to understand they're all junk, okay? Leave a comment actually underneath this video saying all these stocks are junk. And put like a little smiley face afterwards. Because it's not the end of the world that they're junk. It's not the end of the world that they're going to fail long term. It's predictable. And if you study the past, if you study history, you can see that. That said, you can still trade the volatility, with the predictable patterns that are created. And pumpers just don't talk about patterns. They don't talk about reality or history or stats. They just get people believing in these companies. That's why most people hate penny stocks, because they go down with the ship, Wolf of Wall Street style, and they just believe what the pumpers say. And, I don't want to expose the pumpers. I don't want them stopping their games. I mean, even if I stopped, let's say 3 pumpers, there would be a whole new batch of 30 new pumpers. They're like, weeds. They just keep growing. So it doesn't mean no good to expose them. But the way to really, protect yourself from getting pumped on or suckered is to educate yourself. Okay. Education is the key. So I also said veteran traders take singles, 10, 20, 30% gains, add up over time. Don't go for home runs. Pumpers say it's going to the moon, minimum of 10 times your money, more likely 100 times your money. Veterans say lasting wealth is built one trade, one single at a time. Pumpers say home runs only, no singles. And again, there's so much I can say where the right way to trade is being conservative. The right way to trade is cutting losses quickly. Never go for 10 times or 100 times your money. That happens once in a blue moon, okay? DLOC, sure, that was yesterday or 2 days ago, but that happens so rarely. You cannot have that mentality. Go back to the beginning of this video and any video that I do, see why I like, $200, $300, $500 type profits, or if you're trading with a bigger account, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 profits. I mean, let me just show you, like I'm making like 180, 120, or 1260, 2400. My biggest win was just 4,000, okay? And I sold this one way too soon. This could have been what, an $8,000 or a $10,000 profit. Do I care? No, because I still took the single, and taking singles protects me, just like I've been doing on DLOC, okay? And I don't mind dip buying them afterwards either. It's a good thing to dip buy and not chase. Here's some more tweets. Veteran traders never get emotional about a trade. Create a plan and stick to it. Discipline is key. Pumpers say, I'm in love with this company. And by the way, most of the pumpers are getting compensated either in money or shares by insiders, by management, by some other pumping group. It's all like a coordinated pumping, scheme, for lack of a better word. Veterans say treat trading like a business, be meticulous. Pumpers say, let's get that Coke money. And I also say this, like some people say, well, why do you tweet about it, if you're not going to name names? Because I don't want them to stop. They are creating the volatility. I just want you to be aware of it so that you can profit from it consistently. Okay. And yeah, I mean, a lot of promoters are hopped up on cocaine. Like Jordan Belfort didn't just start the trend. He was just part of it. So give them their cocaine, let them do their unethical stuff. For us, if you just study the patterns, like you don't have to be involved in the bumming. You don't have to do anything illegal. You don't have to do anything shady or unethical. You're just trading the patterns that the pumpers create. Okay. So you just have to be aware of how this game works. And it's just sad. It's sickening to see like newbies get lured in by these pumpers. And I try to warn them and they attack me because the pumpers say like, Sykes is just shorting. FYI, I'm not shorting these pumps. I'm buying them. I'm dip buying them. I am not the pumper's enemy, but it is my job to educate people too. So I can't just stop educating. That said, I'm still going to trade the predictable patterns. I'm very grateful for every play, for every pumper. But it's the people who go down with the ship that I really just feel bad for, because the pumpers really go after, the most financially naive, and they just say, oh, this company has 5G, this company has new technology. None of that shit matters, okay? What you got to understand is all the press releases, all the research, all the emails to investor relations, it's all just a smokescreen to get the stock up so that insiders can sell at inflated prices, either selling a big chunk of the company in some toxic financing. A lot of these companies do financings at 30, 40, 50, 60% discounts, or the insiders themselves are selling big positions themselves of their own money. And, this just keeps happening. So I have to call it out. And also, One last tweet here. I said the market doesn't owe you anything. 90% of traders lose due to lack of preparation. That's what veteran traders say. Pumpers say God wants you to be rich. I didn't pick this stock. God did. Veterans say study the past. History repeats. Pumpers say this is a breakthrough technology. Ignore the past. And again, nothing I'm saying is revolutionary. These patterns have been around before me. I didn't create these patterns. I didn't invent these patterns. I'm just teaching them. And it's true that 90% of traders lose, and it's due to lack of preparation. It's due to trusting stocks, trusting others, relying on others. And I just don't want that to happen. You know, part of the reason why I write out my whole little paragraph when I buy a stock or exit a stock, I want you learning my mindset. I want you learning my process. That's what matters. Okay. Remember, I donate all of this money, this $9,000 that I've made today, all going to charity, not into my pocket. I teach by trading, and I want you to learn the process. That is the beautiful thing here, because the process is repeatable or predictable. And if you take smaller positions, that's fine too. And then a few more tweets. Never follow alerts, picks from anyone. Learn to be self-sufficient from veterans. Pumpers say, I want as many followers to buy my plays because that's my strategy. Veterans say all penny stocks are junk. Research is a joke. Pumpers say this stock is the future and will change the world. And again, I'm not hating on, these companies and their little wannabe technologies. 1 out of 10,000 of them actually does have like a revolutionary technology. If you remember my first big loss on Cygnus E transactions, I personally lost $500,000. My hedge fund lost roughly $1 million. I lost all my hedge fund credibility. And I was right about print at home ticketing. So I was right about the technology, but the company had too many debts. There's a lot going on with these small companies behind the scenes. It's not just about how good is their product, how good is their technology. You can be right on the technology and still lose a lot or all of your money. So just understand that. Do not follow picks or alerts from anybody. All of my top students, yeah, they're making 6 and 7 figures, but they're also all self-sufficient. Jack Carew, Jack Kellogg made $3,000 today. Kyle Williams, I saw he made $3,000 today. Michael Good, I saw made $4,000. Al was on, I saw he made $3,000. And, I'm filming this midday before a challenge webinar. One more tweet, 2 more tweets, just because I really like exposing this stuff. The tweet here was saying penny stock research is a sideshow for companies to do financings, insiders to sell at pumped up prices. Pumpers say, I have the best research. I talk with IR daily. Veterans say there have been manias before. See this Men's Journal article, never hold in hope. Pumpers say, hold long term. And this is what happens when the stocks go down. Pumpers will say, again, it's not a loss until you sell. So they're trying to hold long term because that's also part of their contract with these companies. They'll never say sell these companies, even when it's time to take profits, because they can't. They're just a cheerleader. They're a paid cheerleader for this company or this pump. And when they say, like, I have the best research, I talk with IR daily. IR is investor relations. They're never going to admit anything bad that's happening. Investor relations for a company is never going to say, hey, actually, the SEC stopped by yesterday. No, they'll never say that. The day before Bear Stearns went bankrupt, it was the CEO or CFO on CNBC. And they asked, how was the company doing? And they said, everything's fine. The next day they went bankrupt. IR is not a research outlet. It is a cheerleading outlet. So if you trust the cheerleading outfit, what do you think you're going to get? You're going to get best case news. And all of it, again, is just a sideshow to the companies really just selling stock. That's what penny stocks are all about. When I first got started teaching, there was a whole bunch of BS saying like you can't short sell penny stocks, that, Tim Sykes is a criminal for short selling. That's a lie. Yes, you can short sell penny stocks. You just have to find borrows. I've been using E-Trade and Interactive Brokers for 2 decades. They don't have borrows all the time. I have a whole music video called No Borrow, No Cry, but yes, it is legal. And now, with these pumpers, like saying that it's the research and they do the due diligence and I'm just a hater. No, I've been doing this for 2 decades. I know how the game works. A lot of these pumpers have random ass screen names. They don't show their real names. They don't show all their trades. They have random StockTwits profiles. They use memes. They're in Discord chat rooms. And what's happened is a lot of the promotion from the past, in the past, like promoters have used boiler room telephone calls at dinner time. They've been using emails, and also promoters in the past have been using hard copy mailers. You would get postcards. Some promoters even used to mail a DVD. in the mail. It was called the Stockumentary, right? And like it was a whole BS promotion on these companies. What was the company? One company, Spicy Pickle. And that company went totally to zero, where the stock went to close to zero. So now what's happening is we're having an evolution of promotion, and it's happening on Twitter, it's happening on StockTwits, it's happening on WhatsApp, it's happening on Telegram, it's happening in Discord chat rooms. It's just new technology with the same old twist, where the promoters are getting paid in cash and stock, and they are lying about the research. They're lying about the company's potential. I don't even think they talk about what their actual position size is. They show a screenshot here or there, but ask them if you don't believe me, and it's fine to not believe me. Many people are just stubborn, especially newbies. A lot of them are just destined to learn the hard way. But ask these promoters or pumpers, or that's not what they'll call themselves, these traders, to show their real names in all their trades. And tell me the excuses they make. Tweet at me the excuses, because I've heard all the excuses, but maybe these promoters are getting, new kinds of drugs. Like, I know cocaine has always been their drug of choice in the past, but maybe they're onto new drugs, which are, helping them come up with more creative excuses as to why they're full of crap. I don't know. I don't talk to these guys. I just know their game. So one last tweet here. Veterans say it's very low odds to buy when a pump goes red on day 3. Pumpers say, let's coordinate this pump with a few other promoters. We create our own odds. Veterans say never trade with anyone else, expect the worst out of everyone. Pumpers say, let's get multiple chats buying together. And this is what the pumpers have been doing. JAKK was actually an innovative pump, I guess you could call it today. It had multiple pumpers spiking it at several times, okay? And again, all you need is the Stocks to Trade breaking news chat. You do not need to go into all these different chat rooms and StockTwits and Twitter and WhatsApp and Telegram groups and Discord groups. Like, that's the beauty of the breaking news tool on Stocks to Trade. That's why it's been responsible for 6 figures of my profits. But if you look at how the promoters and the pumpers are doing it, they're staggering their pumps, and they're getting all their different followers to buy at different times, okay? And again, I almost bought JAKK, right? Like, I almost bought this breakout here at 95 cents. It moved too fast for me. I didn't want to chase. By the time I even alerted it, it would have been a 10 or 15% mover in a minute or two. That's why you can't just buy any pick that you see, because literally you have like a minute or two. And a lot of the time, right now it's a hot market, so it's working. But a lot of the time, even when the pumpers promote or pump, the stock won't necessarily spike that much, because the sellers, the insiders, the management, whoever's paying them to pump, will be selling right into any buying. They're not even trying to get a profit. They're just trying to get out, because a lot of these companies' stock are completely worthless. Right now, it's a hot market, so the pumps are running for a little bit. As you can see, JAKK settled down. I'm already seeing messages from people in these promoter chat rooms. And again, they're trying to say that this company should spike because of news, because of products. They're not talking about the actual staggered pumping or anything that actually matters here. So a lot of newbies buy into this company at 120, 130, and now they're down 20, 30% on their investment in a few hours. And they say, penny stocks suck. Tim Sykes, you said it was so easy. Well, it is easy if you know how the game is played, okay? Imagine trying to play baseball blindfolded. It's going to be a very difficult game to play, or any sport blindfolded. I wouldn't want to be in the NFL blindfolded and, have like the strongest people like just crunching my bones, and I'm blindfolded, not even knowing what happens. That's basically what, people who don't know how the game works are doing. Okay. So again, if I've made my point, leave a comment underneath this video saying, I like these junk stocks, with a smiley face, because again, it's not the end of the world that they're junk stocks. It's not the end of the world that they're probably going to go out of business, or their stocks are going to go to zero or close to zero within a few months or years. All you have to do is trade the volatility, okay? AITX doubled from my sell, okay? And I still made my 20, 30%, but the thing more than doubled, actually nearly tripled from my buy. So there's so much upside in this market, but just understand, these companies are junk. They're not long-term investments. When they do go red, when they do go against you, you cut losses quickly. Do not risk it. Do not let a small mistake turn into a potential disaster. But I'm proud of a lot of students. I'll keep tweeting. If you like these, retweet. For the day, again, 9 grand in the morning. I got to go give a challenge webinar. Crazy market, crazy BS happening, but that's the market right now. Congrats to everybody who's learning. Even if you're not making money, at least learn how this stuff works so that you can make money later on.